to everyone. This is Viewpoint
Hello to
on
everyone.
Noyan Tapantv, and I am Benyamin Poghosyan, Senior Research Fellow at Armenia. September 2024 marks the 1 year since the military takeover of self-proclaimed Nagorno Karabakh Republic by Azerbaijan and forced displacement of all Armenians from this region. 1 year later, many continue to discuss why and what happened in Nagorno Karabakh in September 2023. Without going too much into details, as it will require hours and hours of discussions, just let's fix that probably the primary reason for what happened in September 2023 was first, the start of the war in Ukraine in February 2022, which significantly diverted Russia's attention and resources from South Caucasus and simultaneously increased Azerbaijan and Turkey's role for Russia and the countries who support Russia to avoid Western sanctions, to export Russian gas and Russian oil, covering them as Azerbaijani gas and Azerbaijani oil, and also to continue large-scale trade with sanctioned and semi-sanctioned goods via Turkey. So this is reason number one, a war in Ukraine. And reason number two, the decision by the government of Armenia to recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan in October 2022 and to drop all demands even for autonomy for Nagorno-Karabakh within Azerbaijan. Just speaking about some vague international presence, security guarantees, while accepting that Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians should adopt Azerbaijani citizenship and at the end of the day should live under the Azerbaijani control. So two events, both in 2022, February 2022, start of the Russia-Ukraine war, October 2022, Armenia's recognition of Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan. Main reasons behind what happened in September 2023. The next question, what next? Can we say that the Karabakh issue is fully closed and there are chances that gradually Nagorno-Karabakh will transform into another Western Armenia for Armenians? What I mean, we all know that now Western Armenian, for absolute majority of Armenians, is just a historical place with historical memories where sometime we go as a tourists and take selfie photos near the destructed and semi-destructed Armenian churches, monarchies, and other Armenian heritage. So, will Nagorno-Karabakh become next Western Armenia? Is the issue completely closed, or Karabakh issue will pop up here and there? First of all, let's be clear that as far as there is a generation who was born in Nagorno-Karabakh and to remember Nagorno-Karabakh well, the people who were at least 10 years old when they were forced to leave Nagorno-Karabakh in September 2023, as well as far as there is a generation in Armenia who remember very well what happened in 1990s, 2000s, who remember very well 2020 44-day war and 2023 September events. Definitely Karabakh issue will not be closed, at least within Armenian circles. It will be discussed, it will be debated, the reasons why that happened, what happened, but also how to bring back the terrible losses which happened in 2020-2023. So let's be clear that at least for the next 25-30 years, the Karabakh issue cannot be closed and Nagorno-Karabakh cannot be forgotten. This is basic facts. Of course, it does not mean that if Nagorno-Karabakh issue is not forgotten and the issue is not closed, it does not automatically mean that it will be possible to bring back Armenians into Nagorno-Karabakh and recreate the situation which was there for at least 3 last millennia, because let's not forget that Armenians were permanently living in Nagorno-Karabakh for thousands and thousands years. So, what may happen in next 25-30 years when Armenians remember about Nagorno-Karabakh when Armenians would like to bring Armenians back to Nagorno Karabakh. But of course, Azerbaijan will do everything to prevent this development. First of all, let's be clear. As far as there is an Azerbaijani control over Nagorno Karabakh, it's extremely unlikely that any Armenian will ever appear in Nagorno Karabakh with Azerbaijani passport. Also, we have to accept that given the current geopolitical environment, even the volatile environment globally and regionally, we have to accept that at least for the next 10 or 15 years, there are very few, if any, chances that Azerbaijan will cede its control over Nagorno Karabakh, or at least there will be significant international presence in Nagorno Karabakh, which will make Azerbaijani control de jure but not de facto. Which means that for next 10, 15 years, at least, we will have a situation when Armenians remember Nagorno Karabakh, but there are few, if any, chances to bring Armenians back into Nagorno Karabakh. Because again, as I mentioned, it's extremely unlikely that Azerbaijani control will be seized over Nagorno Karabakh, or there will be significant international presence which will make the Azerbaijani control de jure but not de facto. Then question may arise, okay, what to do in next 10, 15 years? Okay, we are remembering about Nagorno Karabakh, no chances to bring Armenians back to Nagorno Karabakh, then what? Here, the question raises about the policy of Republic of Armenia government. Current government policy is very clear. Let's forget about the existence of Nagorno Karabakh Republic. Let's forget about the significant part of Armenian history of the last 32 years, I mean 1991, 2023. And let's say that what happened in Nagorno Karabakh in these 32 years, it was a mistake, or it was some sort of conspiracy against Armenia by Russia or by some other forces. So let's forget about Nagorno Karabakh and let's concentrate on Armenia, let's live happily, while through diaspora money, Republic of Armenia money, and some international assistance, let's make the life of Nagorno Karabakh Armenians more or less acceptable inside Armenia. However, I don't believe that this is the right position. Despite the fact that there are few, if any, chances to bring Armenians back to Nagorno Karabakh for the next 10, 15 years, it does not mean that Republic of Armenia should simply forget the history of Nagorno Karabakh Republic from 1991, 2023. This history and the issue of Nagorno Karabakh should be part of Armenian foreign policy agenda and should be part of Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiations. For at least one thing, to use this as a pressure point over Azerbaijan. Yes, we hear many times that if Armenia speaks about right of return of Nagorno Karabakh Armenians, Azerbaijan will speak about Western Azerbaijan, about right of return of Azerbaijanis into current Armenia, etc., etc. The problem here is the fact that despite in the last 1 year, Republic of Armenia government didn't tell one word about right of return of Nagorno Karabakh Armenians, and even deleted the part related to Nagorno Karabakh from official web pages like President website or Ministry of Foreign Affairs website. Azerbaijan continues aggressively to push forward the narrative of Western Azerbaijan. Now there is a TV about Western Azerbaijan. Azerbaijani state is fully supporting the narrative that Republic of Armenia, territorial Republic of Armenia, it's a historical Azerbaijani lands, and Azerbaijani should come back to their historical lands. So the argument that let's forget about Nagorno Karabakh so that Azerbaijan did not speak about Western Azerbaijan is factually wrong, because while we are not speaking about Nagorno Karabakh, Azerbaijan speaks about Western Azerbaijan louder and louder. So again, summing up, Republic of Armenia should bring the issue of Nagorno Karabakh, the right of Nagorno Karabakh Armenians, including right of return, right of compensation, right of protection of cultural heritage, into the negotiations with Azerbaijan. This is issue number one. And number two, as I mentioned, at least for next 20-25 years, this issue cannot be closed because simply there will be too many people who will remember about that. And despite the fact that, again, in the next 10 or 15 years, there are few, if any, chances that Armenians can come back to Nagorno Karabakh, but it does not mean that there are no chances that this will happen in a longer perspective. I mean in the period somewhere beyond 2040. Of course, now, given how quickly and rapidly situation is being changed along South Caucasus and globally, it's simply impossible to assess and even try to let's make predictions what may happen beyond 2040. But again, one thing is clear. Karabakh issue will not be closed for at least next 25 years. Republic of Armenian government should include this issue into the negotiation track. And third, there are chances that situation in Nagorno Karabakh or around Nagorno Karabakh may be changed in longer perspective. This is all for today, and we will meet soon.